TV together, and she got ready to go to work. And I asked her, I said, where's Shay? I said, you take care of yourself. She said, I see you in the morning, Mom.
Authorities say Angela MAYO shot and killed Regina Smith. Court records allege Smith had been picking on MAYO at work the past few months. Documents show Smith brushed up against MAYO, and that's when MAYO shot Smith several times, standing over her. Regina Smith says her daughter was anything but a bully.
She just as sweet as she can be.
Okay, so I know this about to sound real cold. Okay, now I know this is gonna sound cold. All right. So, if you one of those people that don't like to hear people speak on people that left here, click off, because I'm not taking sides in this video, because I know how it feels to be that person that, not to say bullied. I don't like the word bully. I hate when people say bullied. But I know how it feels to be that person that's on the outside. Right? Now, here's the thing. I've told y'all about some of the situations that I have been into on jobs. I know how it is to be on a job where, it's just people getting away with how they treating you. They getting away with it, whether they are family, close-knit friends, or they just are, not to say popular, but they are a people favorite, if that makes sense, right? And oftentimes when you are a person that stay to yourself, maybe you're not the fastest on the job. I'm assuming that job was kind of like a production thing for them to say she couldn't keep up with speed and stuff. I'm assuming that was more like a production thing. I know how it feels to not be one of the stronger people when it comes to like labor jobs or jobs where production, they'll try to put you at the back. Because as you know, as it go down the assembly line, it's going to speed up. You see what I'm saying? So they'll try to put you at the beginning because, it's no secret that the line starts off slow, and then as it gets to the end, it speeds up. I know how they'll talk to you like they crazy. Then when you take them in the office, they act stupid, like they don't know what you're talking about. And then they may have their friends vouching for them. Nah, I was right there. I ain't see it, I know how it is. And then it'll make you look stupid, it'll make it look like you lying on them. Then they'll come in the next morning and speak. And if you don't want to be bothered with them, they like, oh, she rude. I know how people will do you. So, I'm going to be honest with y'all. When I first saw this story, I said to myself, I thought it was a dyke and female type of relationship. That's where my mind first went. I'm like, okay, maybe she popped off on her because they broke up. Because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, the murker, she looks like a dyke to me. I never been in shackles, so I don't know how it feels to have handcuffs on. But I said to myself, well, maybe she bopping like that because she has those shackles on her feet and those handcuffs on. But even when they didn't have them on her, she still had a little bop with her. And she has the cornrows. So I'm assuming when people in jail, they were cornrows. But then then I saw other pictures of her when she was out on the job. They had pictures of her. And I'm like, I said to myself, I'm like, she always looked like a dyke, So that's where my mind first went. I'm like, maybe they broke up. You know how people can't take rejection. They don't know how to, move on. So that's where my mind first went. Then when they said a workplace bullying type of thing, I don't know why people act like it's so unknown. It's just something that doesn't happen. It happens more than people think it does. And it's not just with black on black. It's white on black. Sometimes they can be bad as well. Sometimes it's dudes against females. They can be bad as well, especially if you're working in a arena where is predominantly like a male centered field. They don't want females in there. And see, this is something that I feel adamant about, because this is something that I have been through on multiple jobs, where people have gotten away with how they treated me on jobs. And my deuce always reminds me, nobody gets away with anything. Just because you don't see them get their karma, that doesn't mean they didn't get it, right? But this particular story, y'all, I think out of all the stories that I've ever made a video on, this particular one, I feel that I can relate to more than anything, because I know how it feels I never thought about doing nothing like this, but I know how it feels to be on a job where someone keeps fucking with you time and time and time again. And it's just like you feel like your mind is about to explode, because they getting away with it. They got people in their corner that's acting like they ain't did shit to you. They don't act like they don't know what you're talking about, because they got the loyal friends that support them in their wrongdoing. And this is why I said, if I ever decided to go back to get my doctorate, which I'm thinking about it, I think I'm going to go into equal opportunity, because I know how these jobs can be. I know how these jobs can be, and I hate to say it this way, but unless these companies get this type of shit under control, you're going to have a lot of more people like that girl that's going to leave here, because you can't go around treating people any kind of way, being a shitty person, and thinking everybody is going to go for that. Your friends sat around and let you keep fucking with that girl, because I believe she did it. She looks like a mean girl. I'm not doing this with y'all. She looks like one. And don't give me that, oh, well, how can you tell? Because some of the things that they were saying. It don't sound like no shit that was made up. It don't sound like it. But I'm gonna tell you why, because I have been through it. And I know it's people out there, well, you can't compare your da-da-da-da. That's not the same state. That's not the same company. You don't know those people. Da-da-da. Absolutely. But I know how companies can be. And some of the statements that the friends were saying, oh, well, she would do it, but we knew she didn't mean no harm. We knew it doesn't matter. It bothered her. That's why, see, that's that shit I be talking about. When y'all want to have y'all friend back. But, well, we knew, had you told her she was wrong, and a lot of that shit, maybe she would still be here. This is why you have people coming on these jobs and lighting the place up. Because people like her kept getting away with bullshit. And then when something like this happens, or a big ass massacre, then people want to do something about it. Everybody not going to be like me. Cuss y'all ass out in the email, make a scene, okay, but before you know it, I'll go find another job and then be done with it. Everybody ain't going to do that. Some people gonna come back with a you know what and light that fucker up. Everybody ain't gonna, even me, I didn't take the high road all the damn time. But I ain't think about doing nothing like this. But there are people out here that they will get even to the fullest extent. They don't give a fuck about no time. Everybody ain't gonna think that shit through. Y'all need to start holding y'all people accountable, because people getting tired of that shit. They getting tired of that shit. Now, as far as her family and her friends saying, oh, well, she wasn't a bully. My baby wasn't no bully. She was a lovable person. Of course y'all gonna say that. Y'all her family. Y'all her friends. Of course y'all gonna say that. But I don't think people understand how fucked up of a feeling that is for you to come to work just like anybody else, trying to make your money just like anybody else, and you got to deal with a certain group of people constantly fucking with you, saying any type of thing to you. You tell them how you feel. Now it's a fucking problem. Going to the higher ups that's supposed to be there to protect you and to put shit in place. They not handling the shit. They sweeping the shit under the rug. And see, the thing is with a lot of these companies, instead of them fixing it, like for example, I'll give you an example. I've been through this on a couple of jobs. Let's say for example, you have an issue with a certain group and it's a ringleader. In this case, the girl that's no longer here, she was the ringleader, right? I hate to say it this way, but my pops always told me, if you ever gonna go out, always get the ringleader. If you can't get everybody, you get the ringleader, right? Okay, so the thing is, and I hate to say it this way, but she was the ringleader. It is what it is. She did it, So here's the thing. Something that my good Judy told me, and I never forget it. I went through a situation like this last year. Just last year. And out of all my jobs that I've had thus far, I think that one really hurt me. It really hurt me because I had people jumping in it that I was nothing but kind to. My dude said that I was buying a certain person because I knew she was disloyal and I knew this and that. And I would still get her like a soda or whatever. And sometimes she would ask, sometimes she wouldn't. But nonetheless, that's a story time for another day. But long story short, they teamed up on me. It got me out the door. And I had been complaining about certain people, the way they were talking to me. I had somebody grab my arm. They told me that I was being dramatic. It just, it didn't matter, whether he grabbed it or not hard. It didn't matter if he grabbed my arm hard or not. The person going to tell me, well, I didn't see it and he didn't grab you hard, so it's not a big deal. My thing is, if I tell you that it's an issue as my supervisor, you're supposed to handle that. Nobody has the right to grab my arm, whether it was hard or not. As a woman, if I tell you that that makes me uncomfortable, I don't like it, your job as my supervisor is to correct that. She didn't even say anything. She said she didn't see it. He told you that I stuck up my middle finger at him. You wrote me up. You didn't see me do it. So, but why was it okay for him to grab my arm? Why was that okay? I stuck up my middle finger after he grabbed my arm because he was laughing. You want to know why he was laughing? Because his words exactly. They still ain't do shit. Ha ha, you did all that, ain't do shit to me. So I stuck up my middle finger. He went back, they wrote me up. But you know what my good Judy told me? She said, you want to know why? Because they were trying to get rid of you. You were labeled problematic. You had too many enemies, right? So here's the thing. I say all that to say, you know one thing my good Judy told me, and I never forget it long as I live. Yes, the diet, we're going to call her the diet, okay? Yes, she may have been bullied. Okay, but here's the thing. I'm going to tell you something that my good Judy told me the other day. Not the other day. I want to say it was last one. I'm going to tell you something she told me and I never forget it long as I live. She's older than me, right? She has me beat about 10 years, right? And she said to me, she said, when you're working for these companies, and I told her, I gave her the whole story. Y'all, I'm not one to tell you, to sit in front of y'all and act like I'm the victim. It's woe is me. I told y'all what I did. I said I stuck up my middle finger, right? I'm not one that acts like it's all the other person. It's never me, right? I told y'all I was upset because I felt like he grabbed my arm. They ain't do nothing about it. Upon many things that people had did, and they were, oh, you're overreacting. I had a guy on the job call me retarded, all types of retarded, slow asses. When I reported on it, they said, well, he talks to everybody like that. Why are you making a big deal out of it? This stuff that people do on these jobs, right? So, I know how people can be, and I know how frustrating it is. You feel like, damn, like, why the fuck I always got to be the one that turn the other cheek? Y'all holding me accountable. What about, I had one person, they went in the office on me saying I was rude because they was saying good morning and I didn't say good morning. They took me in the office for that. I had two guys, go in there and said that my flip-flops were flopping. When I told my good Judy that, she said, "You're lying. No way nobody took it." I said, "Girl," I showed her the paper. She said, "These motherfuckers really took you in the office saying that your flip-flops." She said, "They were just trying to get you fired." Said that my flip-flops were flopping and it was causing a disruption due to my flip-flops being loud. They were behind on their work because they couldn't concentrate because they were two white guys. Because my flip-flops were flopping so loud that it caused a disruption, and that's why they were 6 months behind on their work. And my good Judy didn't believe me. I said, "Not that I gotta prove a damn thing to you, but look, this how we talk to each other." And she said, "Girl, them motherfuckers just wanted to get you off their job." Because I can't believe what I'm reading. Right? And and they kept trying and they kept trying and they kept trying until they finally succeeded. And see, people like that, had I been a person that wasn't in my right state of mind, I could have went back up there and blew all the motherfuckers away. Because it's not right. But God had it, so I found another job. But it's just the point. I know how people can be on these jobs. I know how they can be. And I know how frustrating they can be. And one thing my good Judy told me, and I never forget it long as I live, as I was telling her the story of the role I played and the role they played, and she said, "You're not the victim." I said, "How?" She said, "Because you stayed." So when I say the dyke, she shares some of the blame, and that's what I mean. Because I'm looking at it from a perspective that, how in the fuck, y'all let all this go on? The administration didn't say anything. You got the same other one. Remember how I told y'all it was two guys that took me in the office about my flip-flops? One of which was one of the guys that grabbed my arm, right? So that was the same guy and his good pal, right? So they were there when they actually walked me out the door, right? So my thing is, I told my good Judy everything that happened because I wanted her to see the bigger picture, right? And she told me, she said, "You're not the victim because, for one, you retaliated." I said, "Well, no, they started with me." She said, "Yeah, they started it with you, but you retaliated. And you were on that job for an extensive amount of time. And instead of you just leaving, you stayed there and you let them get the best of you because you started to respond. You don't stay on a job where people are treating you like shit and administration is not even validating your grievances." And one thing she said to me? She said, "Never stay somewhere where people always tell you you're the problem. Because it's not you in every single situation." And like she said, him touching your arm. Well, I don't care if it was a tap. I don't care if it was a scratch. It's unwanted. That was a word. A word. I know YouTube funny about it. Assault. It was assault, right? I didn't know if you could say that word, because I heard people say you can't say that word up here. It's certain words they funny about. I hope they don't be tripping, but if they do, oh well. I ain't worried about it. But nonetheless, yeah. And it was like, oh, okay, well, he didn't grab you that hard. And like she said, even after that, y'all, I still stayed on that job. And I grew to hate those people to the point where I would put a piece of paper up to my face when I would cross them. And they looking at it like you trying to be funny. But no, from the bottom, the most deepest place in my heart, I grew to hate those people, y'all. Girl, I grew to hate those people with every fiber of my being. It was like sometimes I couldn't sit there and listen to them. I couldn't, they could be having a conversation among each other. And I grew to hate those people so bad. And you know what she told me? She said, anytime you occupying a space that you're growing to hate people that bad to the point where you don't want to hear their voice, you don't want to look at them, you don't want to even cross them. Like, I could be going to the refrigerator, I would hate to even walk. It could be my lunchtime, I could see a motherfucker at the table I couldn't stand. I would miss my whole lunch. I could have lunch in the refrigerator because I didn't want to look at a certain person, because I felt like they was getting away with it. And they would smile and they would snicker because they had each other back. And when I would tell something that they would do to me, I said, well, y'all did it to me. Oh, well, just because we do it to you don't mean you can do it to us. That's the little shit they would say. When I tell y'all workplace bullying is real, that shit is real. Bro, that shit is real. I look, let me tell you something. That shit is real. I have no sympathy. If that girl did what this dyke says she did, I have no sympathy for her. Because I know that feeling. I know that feeling when you walk in them offices and they don't do shit. I know that feeling walking out that door watching motherfuckers laugh when they know what they did. I know that feeling when they do little slick shit and they play dumb. I know how it feels to go to your supervisor and she don't do shit. He or she. I know that feeling. That shit is real. That shit is real, y'all. So for the motherfuckers out there to say, well, nah, da-da-da, the company, da-da-da, that's bullshit. People get away with stuff a lot of the times on these jobs. And it's only going to get worse because you got people like that girl that sit on these jobs, connect themselves to a certain group of people that enable them in their wrongdoings, and they sit around, they fuck with people, and nobody never calls them out on it. That girl probably been doing that shit, but this time she probably fucked with the wrong one. And I hate to say it this way, but it's gonna be a lot of y'all bitches that drop just like her. Some dudes too. Because I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna be more of this. Until these companies crack down on workplace bullying, it's gonna be more mass shootings. I'm just saying. This is the harsh reality. It's gonna be more mass shootings. It's gonna be more people getting murked on the job. Because people gonna get tired of that shit. I'm telling you. People gonna get tired of that shit. I don't know who out there needs to hear this, but I'm gonna tell you like my good Judy told me. On these jobs, if you go tell the higher ups, if you go tell your supervisor and whoever else, I don't care, you tell the mountaintop, that somebody did something to you or made you feel some type of way and they don't address it, they sweep how, your grievances, how you feel about something under the rug, leave that damn company. Don't be like me, sitting on the job, to the point where you starting to hate the job, hate the people, hate being there, to the point where you don't want to look at them, you don't want to speak to them. You low-key become bitter in your heart as hell because you feel like, they getting, it's not even, you just hate being around them because you feel like they getting away with it. You feel like they getting away with it. Let me tell you something. I have been on jobs where people have done things and I have complained to the supervisor, and I have overheard conversations where the person said, well, I don't know why she keep saying, telling so-and-so whatever, meaning the supervisor. We're going to use an example. The supervisor name is Doorknob, for example. Well, I don't know why she keep telling Miss Doorknob what we be doing. She don't care. She don't care what we do to her. Anytime, the worst thing for your enemy to notice, is that they can do shit to you and nobody gonna do nothing about it. That's bad when other employees are picking up that they can do whatever to you, treat you any kind of way, and ain't nobody gonna do shit about it. Because guess what that means? They gonna keep doing it because they know don't nobody care. And me and that same supervisor, you know, Miss Doorknob, for example, we had got into it for that very reason. Because I felt like you keep letting these people do whatever to me and you not saying shit. So now me and you got a problem because you supposed to come in and say, hey, and you could be sitting right there hearing how people could be talking to me. And you ain't doing shit about it. Or mocking me about my speech. Or something on the job that I may not be moving fast enough. Or, you know, and you don't do shit. And now me and you got static. You know what I'm saying? That's really bad on these jobs when other people notice that they can just do whatever to you. It's been times when I have been on jobs where back in my early 20s, for example, I was told I was working somewhere and it was a male dominant field, right? For example, a couple of moons ago, back in my early 20s, and I was told to write a long ass statement because I was going to write a big ass statement on, it was like 3 guys on the team that would team up on me and talk to me any kind of way. I mean, they would talk to me any kind of way. And they were upset because they felt like, for one thing, they would say I didn't deserve to be there. And this was back when I didn't know any better. I told a guy how much money I make, and they were extremely upset because one particular guy, he had been there for over 30 years, and I was making $2 less than him. And you know, for somebody that was, you know, only 21, and he was in his late 40s, you know, either I'm 20 years ahead or you 20 years behind. You know, and his job was harder than mine, but that's just where they, you know, that's just where they put me. That's where they put my money at. And they would talk to me crazy, say this is why women shouldn't be in here. And you know, they just, that sound not that bad, but y'all, I had one tell me, MF, you can suck my DICK, a B, you know, and we got into it because I told him, I said, you know, don't be grabbing my vest like that. Because, you know, he was just grabbing my vest, you know, bitch, we play like that in here. You ain't gotta be in here. So one time he grabbed my vest and I swung on him. Right? Because I got tired of him grabbing on me. And he said, mother effer, you better not ever, da-da-da, you, da-da-da. We got into it, right? Bitch, we play like that all day. Why? I said, but ain't nobody gonna be grabbing on me. And that's when I had put in a big ass statement, you know, about, you know, I'm thinking they gonna do something about it. Y'all, they got rid of me. They got rid of me. So I know how these jobs can be. You know, don't stay on these jobs. And I got to the point, that was another job I hated being at, because they would talk to you crazy. They would do you any kind of way. And, you know, then when you come in and you don't want to speak to them, she act like she can't say good morning. Why would I? Hell, why would I? I'm still upset. I didn't cried all night about something that y'all did to me yesterday. I was trying to pull myself out of bed to come here this morning because I ain't want to, but I had bills. Why would I want to fix my mouth and smile at you and be happy and to see you when I was crying on the way home. I had to grab my sunshades out of my armrest to put on my face so people couldn't see me crying. I had to tell the boss my stomach was hurting because I had to take a couple of minutes in the bathroom just to cry. And another 5 additional minutes to keep myself together so I would come back so you couldn't see tears in my eye. Then when I want to hold a conversation, you say I'm standoffish. So I know how these jobs can be. This is why I stay in school, y'all. Because I knew, I said, as by the time I get to my mid-30s or my early 40s, I either got to be one of the heavy hitters or I got to own the building. Because it's just certain shit that I'm just not going for. on these jobs. And I'm like this now. So imagine how I'm gonna be in my my middle-aged woman years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done been through it on these jobs. I ain't no victim. I ain't say I was. But it's just a lot of shit shouldn't have been able to happen the way that it did. So yeah, y'all. So that's how I feel about the situation. I feel if she did do what they say she did, I didn't hear nobody other than her family. I didn't hear a lot of people on the job say she didn't do it. I heard a couple people say that they didn't think she meant no harm bad. But nobody came out and said that she did not do it. Now, maybe y'all saw something I didn't see, but I didn't see it. So that's how I feel about the situation. I'm not gonna give her family condolences because I don't know if she did it or she didn't do it. But I will say this: if she did do it, I don't have sympathy for her. I don't have sympathy for nobody that sits on a job and makes it hard for somebody else. I know how it feels to not want to come through them doors. I know how it feels to feel like you gotta walk in, and walk fast past people when they in their little cliques and they in their little groups, because they gonna say something to you out the way. You say something bad, then it's gonna look like you going off again. I know how it feels to go to the higher ups and nobody do shit about it. I know how it feels to call people out on their shit in a room full of people and nobody back you up. They act like you crazy. And you in that room full of people and all by yourself. I know how it feels. So I don't have sympathy for no bitch, living or dead, that sit on a job and occupy a space, making it hell for somebody else. I don't have sympathy for you. I don't have sympathy for your family. Because people have feelings. They're trying to go to work just like anybody else. And it's not cool on no day to bully somebody or make somebody feel like they're not wanted, or make somebody feel like they ain't shit because they may not be the fastest person on the team, or they may not be one of the best people on the team. It ain't right. It's not right on no day. Now what she did wasn't okay, and she gonna see the judge for that, and she gonna have to pay for that. And this is why I say, y'all, even for me, walk. When it get that bad, walk. If you got to cuss them out, do it. Is it right? No. But I'd rather you cuss them out, tell them everything you ever wanted to tell them, one by one. I've done it many times. And walk. If you want to cause a scene, make yourself feel better, do it. Do it swiftly before they call security. Just saying. We ain't trying to go to jail behind no job that 9 times out of 10 ain't worth shit no way. You find one paying more anyway. Walk. Walk. If you want to get loud with them, make yourself feel better, do it. But just don't go to jail. That's what I say. But other than that, don't sit on these jobs. Don't be like me. Don't be like her. Don't sit on these jobs and let people make you feel like that. To the point where at times where I had to go in my truck and call my mama and put on my shade and go park my car under a tree somewhere. And pop my car in a direction where they couldn't see me park. See me in there crying. Because of some shit they done did. Then you got to come back in there and act like everything all good. Because they don't nobody give a fuck to make it right no way. I know that feeling. Nah, hell no, I don't have sympathy for her or her family. Hell no. If she did it, I hate to say it, that's what she deserved. If she did it, that's what she deserved. Because I know that feeling. I know that island. And it don't feel good. I'm telling you. I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave y'all with this little nugget, okay? Just think about it. Have y'all ever worked a job and it's a person there that you wonder to yourself, like, this person is so smart. Why are they here? Like, why are they here? Like, you don't say it to them, of course, because that can be considered an insult. But you say it to yourself, like, or you may say something like, you ever met somebody when you first meet them, they seem so nice. you know, you're like, this person is so nice. Their manners and they speak so well. And, you know, and you're saying to yourself like, wow, why are they here? You know, why have they not lived up to their full potential? You know, da da da, right? Or it could be a person there that's smarter than you, or, you know, and they always complain about them not getting a raise or promotion. Red flag, by the way. Anytime you work in a job and there's a person there that's been there the longest and they wonder why they can't move up, it's usually that their heart not right. I have learned that in life. And, you know, they probably, 9 times out of 10, I see a pattern with people like that. Usually those are people that have done a lot of sneaky shit on a job to get where they would like to go, and it's just still not working out for them. They have stepped on a couple of people's heads, put a couple of knives in people's back. They get where they wanted to go and they still can't get there, and they wonder why they're still there. But anyway, that's where I'm getting at. My point exactly. You know, let me leave y'all with this, okay? Usually when you meet people on a job that, you know, a couple of things that I have noticed, and I'm gonna leave you with this from my experience. Stay away from the people that talk about they can't move up. They're still there. They've been there a certain long time, and everybody came in after them, make more money than them. You know, whatever the case may be, they still there. Stay away from them. That's bitter. Matter of fact, it's a jealous spirit, because, you know, they feel like, let me tell y'all something I had to learn the hard way. That same job that I told you about just then, where the dude had grabbed my arm, that was a government job, right? God blessed me with another government job that paid more, right? But the thing is, let me tell y'all something. One of my biggest mistakes when I first came over there, and you would think that I would know better, with like the job I told y'all about, where the guys was talking to me any kind of way, and he was like, bitch, you could MF, you could suck my da da da, and I had wrote the statement or whatever, and they still fired me because they're talking about it was like a common denominator bullshit thing. But anyway, I tried to get back on with that company through a contract, that particular company, and they found out about it. These are two separate situations, but follow me. I'm gonna go back to the government job, right? But long story short, the man was like, one thing he said to me, I never forget it. He said, oh my goodness, they did you so wrong. I said, what you talking about? Because, see, I didn't know he knew about it. He found out about it when he tried to get, because I tried to get back in with a different department that was on. This is a real big company. They have different locations and stuff. It was a whole different location, but it was still the same company, but there's a different location and a different contractor, because they made really good money. So, he just found out about it, and he said, why are you trying to go back with them the way that they treated you? I said, how did you know about it? You know, he said, I found out about it. Little birdie told me about what happened and how they did you. And I said, so I'm not tripping. He said, yeah, they mishandled the fuck out of you, right? So he said, why are you trying to go back there? I said, because the money was good. The money was good. You know, and you know what thing he told me? He said, let me tell you something, sweetheart. He said, ain't no money worth your peace. Ain't no amount of money worth your peace. And I never heard nobody put it that way. He said, but if you choose to go back and keep trying, that's on you. But ain't no amount of money worth your peace, right? So the government job, right? You'll see, just follow me. I know I'm all over the place when I tell stories, right? Whenever you're working for a company, right? And one thing I've noticed, the people that gave me a hard time on both jobs, those were two of many jobs that I have been to, and I've ran into these issues, right? I made the same mistake twice, okay? With the government job. For those that have worked for the government before, it goes by grades, right? You got the NAF positions, and you have the GS positions. You have other positions as well, but those are two of the main ones, right? now in hindsight, I look back, I made the same mistake twice. It's growing pains. I accidentally told, well, I didn't accidentally, I thought somebody over there was cool. She turned out to be a snake. I told her what grade I was. Okay? She went around telling people. Okay? And one thing my good Judy told me in life, and I never forget it, and I keep this with me. She said, sometimes you got to understand, after I told people my grade, I noticed, well, I told her and she told people, which I told her, I said, why would you do that? She said, because, well, she said, well, it's really not a big deal because it's public knowledge. People can look it up in the directory and see what was your grade. I said, but that wasn't your business to tell. If they did that, that was just what they did. But, and she was a lie because I had it so it was hidden. You can hide it, right? Well, it's not a big deal. It wasn't her place. And see, that and upon many other things, I realized she wasn't nobody that you can trust, right? But by then it was too late because she had told people, right? And ever since she started telling people, it seemed like I had a target on my back, right? And one thing my good Judy told me, and I never forget it, she said, sometimes in life you got to understand, when you don't come across as that bright, there are people in the world that will feel like you're not worthy of certain positions and certain opportunities. And I had people coming up to me say, I can't believe they started you off with a GS, da da da. When I first came, I was 2 grades lower than you, and I wasn't that great, and and I can't believe they basically skipped you 2 grades. And like I told one of the bitches, I said, you gotta understand, I came in the door with a degree already under my belt, and my experience in certain things. So more of the story, y'all. You wonder why certain people are where they are. And don't be blind and naive to people's soft melodies and their compliments and this, that, and the third that they may tell you, because sometimes people got a lot of shit with them. And more of the story, when it gets really bad on the job, I told my cousin the other day, I said, let me tell you something, you got your first complaint. You got your first HR complaint. Okay. I hope you back on Indeed. I hope you on USA Jobs. I don't want to leave. I said, let me tell you something. Don't ever feel like you can't walk. Don't ever feel like you can't walk. If you don't remember nothing else I tell you in this lifetime, don't ever feel like you cannot walk away from these jobs. You got your first HR complaint. Once it hit the streets, that HR already pulled you one time from your desk. You gonna have a follower somewhere out the bunch, a bitch or a motherfucker that don't care much for you, that's gonna walk their ass in that office. That's how they play the game. Or an email, or drop a nugget in HR ear. It's called a verbal complaint. Don't let them tell you, no, I was just talking to her. It's a verbal complaint. They know what the fuck they be doing. And like I told her, I said, you got your first HR complaint. Don't let them play you like that. Don't let them bounce you around up in there like that. Back and forth into that HR office. Don't let them do you like that. Because I've been there, I done that. I know the little games motherfuckers will play. And she just like me, y'all. She just like me. She drive nice. And she keep herself up. She smell good. She about her education. I said, don't let them play with you like that. Don't let them play with you like that. Don't feel like you can't walk. You can walk. You gonna be all right. When they walked me off that one, I thought it was the end of the world. God got it. So I'm even two grades higher than I was there. And them bitches still trying to figure out how they can at least get to a 7. They still can't even they still trying to get to an 8. They was a 7 when I was there. They still trying to get to an 8. Them bitches still trying to get to an 8. I done bypassed that one. I done skipped more than that. Give it a couple of years. I ain't gonna need 2 jobs no more. Give it a couple of years. But me being me, I'm gonna still work 2 jobs because I feel like I need more than one source of income. At least until I get my business up and going. No, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna still work 2 jobs, but you know, they still trying to get to an 8. I'm gonna bypass that. Let me tell y'all something. A lot of these companies be on bullshit. Just like when they let me go, right? They gave me a not a fault. A not a fault. Not a fault mean you just didn't pass your probationary period. Like I told that head lady, like I told that head chief. I said, let me tell you how y'all know y'all was on bullshit. I sure did tell her. I said, because y'all gave me a not at fault. She said, we figured we would do you a favor because at least if with that, we don't put the behavior in there. Not a fault basically mean you just didn't pass your probationary period. Just mean when you go to your next company, you got to explain why you didn't pass it. They don't put nothing on your SF-50, basically. I said, so why did y'all not put that in there? She said, you ought to be glad we didn't put that in there because it would have ruined you for all government jobs. It would have ruined you. I said, let me tell you something. Y'all still full of shit because y'all knew that was wrong what they did. So I guess that was y'all way of trying to make it right. And she kind of shrugged her shoulders. She said, you ought to be thanking us. I said, I ain't thanking y'all for a motherfucking thing. Let me walk back to my shit and get my stuff so I can bounce. She said, sure, I'll walk with you. I talked shit to her from the time I was packing my shit, from the time I would walk, to the time I walked to that parking lot to my truck. I talked pure shit to her. Talk pure shit. And I told her, I said, I'm gonna show you how it feels for people to make you talk to you like you a piece of gum on the bottom of their shoe. I talk pure garbage. I mean pure garbage to her. Pure shit. Sure did. Okay, y'all, so I wanted to give y'all a little quick Temu haul. Nothing too major. I have a lot of Temu packages that I don't have time to go through all in one setting. So we just gonna do a couple of things and that's it for now. Okay, the next item that we have is a hair comb. I think this hair comb costs like 50 cents. So I think that was a good bargain. Okay, so I got this brush for like, I want to say, I think it was like $1.50. Okay, so next I have these sunglasses, and of course you see the Q-tips. You want to know what's really crazy? I put these same sunglasses in my cart for Shane literally yesterday. I just put, that's how you know you buy too much shit, because I literally, like, it's been times, y'all, when I have bought stuff and went through my stuff and realized I bought the same thing twice. I know I cannot be the only woman out here that has went through that. That's how you know you buying too much shit and you really not even using everything you buying, because if you were, you would know that you bought the same thing twice. It's been times I have bought blouses 3 times. 3 times, literally. And it's crazy. That's some crazy shit. But now I know I need to remove them sunglasses out of my cart because I already have bought a pair. That's crazy. So this is this color. Just in case y'all wanted to buy it, I put the name of the lipstick so you can search it. I have these hairpins. I think they were like 50 cents. Okay. I also bought these icing knives. I think they were, both of them together were maybe like $4. No, I have not tried them out just yet, but I will once I bake another cake. Okay, so I usually don't really wear eyelashes. I told y'all for the most part, I'm more of a lipstick type of girl. I believe with the right color lipstick, you really, to me, to be honest, that's really all you need. Make sure your eyebrows are, cleaned up as far as, now I don't get mine waxed. I just get them like cleaned up. But, to me, all you really need is lipstick. You don't really need all that other stuff. And you don't even need that. But I mean, if you wanted to, like, but I mean, I got the eyelashes because, I was just like, well, why not? But to be honest, I have a whole little thing just the eyelashes that I haven't even wore. I I just don't. I mean, part of the reason why I don't wear them is because, you know, I have a little lazy eye. Some people notice it, some people don't. I've had it since I was a little girl. And you ever seen somebody with them eyelashes on? I know we done all seen people with them eyelashes on, and it look like their eyes going different ways. Because I feel like a lot of these chicks don't want to admit when the eyelashes just don't look right on them. So that's another reason why I don't wear them. But yeah, but I buy them, but I mean, I don't need them, if that makes sense. Okay, so the next thing I have is these earrings. I thought they were kind of weird. So I tried them on soon, fresh out the pack. You know, you see something, then you put them on, you're like, you know. But I mean, they alright. I mean, they alright, you know. I got these sunglasses. I want to say they were like $10. I thought they were cute. I told y'all I like little weird stuff, so I thought these were cute. This bracelet holder, I want to say it was like $8. Sometimes I wear bracelets, sometimes I don't, but I do have a bracelet collection, so when I do want to wear bracelets, I do like to keep my pearl bracelets separated from, you know, like your little gold bracelets, your little Pandora bracelets. You know, I like to keep all of them separated, color coordinated, you know, but that's just me. And this hair pick, I think, was like $1.20. More combs. I think all these combs together didn't even come up to like not even $5.